All right, so let's dive into something really interesting today.
Okay.
It's why certain things catch on. You ever
Mhm.
heard of a place selling like $100 cheesesteak?
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
I have.
that's exactly what one Philly steakhouse did, and it
Mhm.
got everyone talking,
Hmm.
and we're going to explore
Yeah.
kind of the science behind that.
Okay.
Why some things spread like wildfire while others just fizzle out.
So I think what's fascinating is that it's not just about the product itself,
Right.
but the whole story surrounding it.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it really plays into this need
Yeah.
to share things that make us look good.
Okay.
It's an idea that Jonah Berger calls social currency in his book Contagious,
Yeah.
which we'll be exploring in depth today.
Yeah, Contagious is going to be our guide for this deep dive.
Oh, great.
And it breaks down the mechanics of why we talk about certain things and
Right.
get this word of mouth influences a staggering 20 to 50%
Yeah.
of all our purchasing decisions.
That's a
Think about it. How many times have you picked a book, a movie,
yeah.
or even a restaurant based on a friend's recommendation?
Exactly.
Right.
And the fact that it's a recommendation from someone we trust
Right.
makes all the difference.
Yeah.
Berger also points out something pretty surprising.
Okay.
Offline word of mouth. Those conversations we have face-to-face or over the phone
Mm-hmm.
might be even more powerful
Really?
than all the sharing happening online.
Wow.
What are your thoughts on that?
I find that fascinating because we tend to think of viral as something that happens online,
Right.
but it makes sense that those personal recommendations carry a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So Berger lays out these 6 key principles that make things contagious,
Uh-huh.
which he calls Step PS.
Okay.
I'm really curious to dig into these. Where should we start?
Let's start with that $100 cheesesteak
Okay.
and social currency.
Okay.
We share things that elevate our social standing,
Right.
make us seem in the know, or even a bit rebellious.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the exclusivity factor.
Okay.
Paying a premium price for something
Yeah.
can actually make people more likely to talk about it.
It's like that velvet rope effect.
Right.
The harder it is to get in, the more desirable it becomes.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the cost.
Right.
Scarcity plays a huge role.
Okay.
Remember Rue La La?
Yeah.
They created this aura of exclusivity
Mm-hmm.
by making their sales invitation only and time limited.
Right.
People felt like they were part of a special club,
Yeah.
or consider McDonald's McRib.
Okay.
Its limited availability
Uh-huh.
creates this frenzy
Yeah.
where people feel like they have to try it before it's gone
Right.
and then tell everyone about it.
So it's about creating a sense of urgency,
Yeah,
making people feel like they're missing out if they don't get in on the action.
exactly.
Another great example of social currency, and one that you mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
is that Will It Blend campaign.
Yes. Blend tech. Those videos where they blend iPhones and other crazy stuff.
I remember those. Yeah.
It showcased the power of their blenders in a shockingly entertaining way.
Yeah.
People shared it because it was unexpected, visually captivating.
Right.
And let's be honest, a little bit destructive.
Uh-huh.
It made them look cool for knowing about it.
Yeah.
Did you ever see those videos?
Oh, of course. I remember everyone was talking about them.
Yeah.
So it's not just about being exclusive, it's also about being remarkable, doing something that stands out from the crowd.
Yeah.
Would you say that's a key aspect of social currency?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We're drawn to things that are novel,
Yeah.
surprising, and make us look good by association.
Yeah.
It's all about tapping into that human desire to be in the know
Right.
and share things that make us seem interesting and well-informed.
Okay, so we've kind of unpacked social currency.
Yeah.
It's about exclusivity, remarkability,
Uh-huh.
and giving people something to brag about. What's the next step in making something catch on?
Let's talk about triggers.
Okay.
Have you ever noticed how certain things are linked in our minds?
Yeah.
Like peanut butter and jelly,
Peanut butter and jelly.
or the smell of freshly baked cookies,
Right.
and happy childhood memories.
Yeah.
These are triggers,
Yeah.
things that spark an association and bring something to mind.
It's like when you hear a song
Exactly.
and it instantly transports you back to a specific time and place.
Yes,
Our brains are wired to make these connections.
they are.
But how does this relate to making something go viral?
So the more we encounter a trigger,
Okay.
the more likely we are to think about the thing it's linked to and subsequently talk about it.
Right.
It's about creating those mental shortcuts
Uh-huh.
that make your message top of mind.
Okay.
Think about Rebecca Black's song Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that one?
Oh, how could I forget? It was everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, the song itself wasn't necessarily amazing,
Right.
but it had a powerful trigger. The word Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Every Friday,
Yeah.
searches for the song would spike simply because of that association.
Wow.
Even if people weren't consciously thinking about the song,
Right.
the day of the week itself served as a reminder.
So the key is to link your message to something that people encounter frequently in their daily lives.
Yeah.
Like Kit Kat and coffee.
Exactly.
That's brilliant.
It is.
Yeah.
Kit Kat cleverly capitalized on the fact that many people enjoy a coffee break
Right.
by associating their product with that daily ritual.
Yeah.
They created a trigger that increased the chances of people thinking about and talking about Kit Kat.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced a similar trigger effect?
You know, now that you mention it, I always crave a certain brand of soda whenever I watch a particular sporting event.
Interesting.
I never really thought about it, but it's definitely a trigger.
It is.
It's incredible how these subconscious associations can influence our behavior.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hmm.
Triggers are powerful because they operate beneath our conscious awareness.
Right.
And when used effectively, they can make a message incredibly sticky and memorable. Another fascinating example is Boston Market.
Okay.
They wanted to shift perceptions of their brand from a lunch spot to a dinner option.
How did they do that? Did they change their menu?
They didn't have to.
Oh,
They simply changed their messaging,
okay.
consistently pairing their brand with dinner-related cues and visuals.
Okay.
By triggering those dinner-time associations,
Uh-huh.
they successfully shifted consumer perception
Wow.
without making any major changes to their product.
That's amazing.
It's a testament to the power of subtle cues
Yeah.
and how they shape our thoughts and actions.
Wow. Triggers are definitely powerful.
Yeah,
It makes you realize how much of our behavior is driven by these underlying associations.
it is.
Okay, so what's the next principle that
Mhm.
makes things contagious?
Let's talk about emotion,
Okay.
because when we care, we
Out-
share. Think about those hilarious cat videos
Right.
that dominate the internet.
Yeah.
Why do we share them?
Right.
Because they make us laugh.
Yeah.
And laughter is a powerful emotion that compels us to share.
Right.
Or consider that New York Times article you mentioned earlier
Yeah.
about coughs visualized with Schleyer photography
I remember that. Yeah.
that went viral even though it was about a seemingly mundane topic.
Right.
All right?
I remember that article. It was fascinating to see those invisible plumes of air and droplets.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it definitely evoked a sense of awe and wonder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what made it so shareable.
Right.
It wasn't just informative.
Yeah.
It was visually captivating
Right.
and triggered a strong emotional response.
Uh-huh.
It tapped into our innate curiosity about the world around us and the beauty of science.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed how certain stories or images stay with you long after you've seen them?
Definitely. I think it's the emotional impact that makes them memorable. Speaking of emotional impact,
Mm-hmm.
those Google Parisian love ads were brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
A simple search query told a whole love story, and it really tugged at the heartstrings.
Those ads were incredibly effective
Yeah.
because they tapped into universal emotions,
Mm-hmm.
love, longing, and connection.
Right.
People shared them because they were heartwarming and relatable.
Yeah.
They made you feel something,
Right.
and that's what made them stick.
Yeah.
On the flip side,
Okay.
sometimes even negative emotions can drive virality.
That's interesting. You mean like when people share outrage or anger about something online?
Exactly.
Okay.
Think about Dove's evolution campaign,
Yeah.
which showed the manipulation behind idealized beauty images.
Right.
It sparked a lot of conversation about body image
Mhm.
and the unrealistic standards set by the media.
Right.
It generated both positive and negative reactions.
Yeah.
But the point is, it got people talking and sharing.
So it seems like any strong emotion, whether it's positive or negative, can have a contagious effect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about tapping into those core human experiences
Right.
that resonate with people on a deeper level.
Okay, so we've covered social currency,
Yeah.
triggers,
Mhm.
and emotion.
Yep.
What's the next principle in Berger's Step ES framework?
Let's move on to public.
Okay.
The idea that if something is visible and observable,
Right.
it's more likely to be imitated and spread.
Okay.
Think about trends in fashion, music,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
or even food.
Right.
We often look to others to see what's popular
Mm-hmm.
and what's considered cool.
It's like that saying, monkey see, monkey do.
Right.
We're social creatures, and we tend to follow the lead of others,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to things that are publicly visible. Are there any specific examples that come to mind?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Think about Movember,
Oh, yeah.
the movement where men grow mustaches.
Right.
During November, to raise awareness for men's health issues.
Yeah.
It's a great example of taking a cause and making it publicly visible.
Right.
Suddenly, everyone is talking about mustaches.
Yeah.
And it creates a sense of social pressure to participate.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever participated in Movember?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing how something as simple as growing a mustache can spark so many conversations
Right.
and raise awareness for an important cause.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant example of using visibility to drive social change.
It is.
What other examples illustrate this principle of public?
Well, consider something as simple as Apple flipping their laptop logo.
Okay.
So it's visible to others when the laptop is open.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It's a subtle detail,
Right.
but it makes the brand more publicly observable
Yeah.
and reinforces that sense of belonging to a tribe of Apple users.
Right.
Or think back to the early days of Hotmail,
Okay.
when they included a sent from Hotmail signature at the bottom of every email.
Ah, that was clever.
Right.
It was like free advertising with every email sent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They turned their users into brand ambassadors without even trying.
Right.
Each email sent was a mini advertisement for Hotmail,
Uh-huh.
increasing its visibility
Right.
and ultimately contributing to its rapid growth.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that sometimes the most effective strategies
Mhm.
are the ones that are integrated seamlessly
Right.
into our everyday interactions.
Yeah.
How do you think this principle applies to things beyond products and brands?
Well, I think about social movements
Mm.
and how visibility plays a crucial role in amplifying their message,
Okay.
whether it's protests, marches, or online campaigns.
Uh-huh.
Making a cause visible helps to raise awareness,
Yeah.
build momentum,
Mm.
and create a sense of solidarity among supporters.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And it highlights how the principle of public can be a powerful tool
Yeah.
for driving social change.
Right.
It's about harnessing the power of visibility
Mhm.
to make a statement challenge norms
Mhm.
and inspire others to take action.
Yeah.
But let's not forget about the practical side of things.
You're talking about practical value, right?
Exactly.
The idea that we share things that are useful and helpful to others.
Exactly.
Okay.
Think about those videos that demonstrate a clever life hack
Right.
or a delicious recipe.
Yeah.
We share them because they provide practical value,
Mm-hmm.
making our lives easier, more efficient,
Yeah.
or simply more enjoyable.
Right.
Remember that video of the guy effortlessly shucking corn in the microwave?
Oh, yeah, that went viral, especially among older adults who found it to be a game changer in the kitchen.
It's a perfect example
Yeah.
of how practical value can drive virality.
Right.
People shared it because it offered a useful solution
Uh-huh.
to a common problem.
Right.
And it wasn't just about the information itself.
Yeah.
It was about the way it was presented.
Okay.
Simple, clear, and easy to replicate.
Right.
Do you find yourself sharing things that offer practical value?
All the time, recipes, articles about productivity tips, or even
Yeah.
just a funny meme that brightens someone's day.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's about sharing things that I think will be helpful or enjoyable for others.
Right.
That's a great example of how this principle operates in our daily lives.
Yeah.
And it's not just about sharing information.
Okay.
It's also about sharing stories and experiences that offer valuable insights.
Right.
Think about the classic story of the Land's End coat.
Oh, yeah.
A customer had a damaged coat,
Uh-huh.
and the company went above and beyond to replace it for free.
Okay.
The customer was so impressed that they told everyone they knew.
It's a story about exceptional customer service, but it also provides practical information about the quality of Land's End products and their commitment to customer satisfaction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a story that reinforces the brand's values
Right.
and makes people more likely to consider purchasing from them in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Vanguard, the investment company. They share investment tips and financial expertise through relatable content,
Okay.
helping people make smarter financial decisions.
It's like empowering people to take control of their finances and make informed decisions.
Exactly.
And speaking of making informed decisions, I remember you mentioning something called the Rule of 100.
Uh-huh.
How does that fit into this principle of practical value?
The Rule of 100 is a fascinating concept
Yeah.
that relates to how we perceive value.
Oh,
It suggests that when framing discounts,
right.
it's more effective to emphasize the dollar amount saved
Okay.
rather than the percentage discount,
Mm.
especially when the price is below $100.
Do you mean it's more appealing to say $50 off than 50% off, even if it's the same amount?
Exactly.
Wow.
It's all about framing.
Right.
Our brains tend to process absolute values more easily than percentages.
Okay.
So by highlighting the tangible dollar amount saved,
Hmm.
you make the offer seem more valuable and appealing to consumers.
It's incredible how these subtle psychological nuances can have such a significant impact
Yeah,
on our perceptions and decision making.
they do.
It makes you realize that understanding these principles can be incredibly valuable,
Right.
whether you're a marketer or just someone who wants to communicate more effectively.
It is.
Okay, so we've explored social currency,
Mm-hmm.
triggers,
Mm-hmm.
emotion,
Mm-hmm.
public and practical value.
Right.
What's the final piece of the puzzle?
Let's talk about stories.
Okay.
Because stories are the vessels that carry information and ideas
Right?
in a way that is engaging, memorable, and persuasive.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the classic tale of the Three Little Pigs. It's not just entertaining.
Right.
It teaches a lesson about hard work planning ahead and the consequences of cutting corners.
Right. Stories have this incredible power to connect with us on an emotional level
Yes.
and stay with us long after we've heard them.
They do.
But how does this relate to making something contagious?
Stories are inherently shareable.
Okay.
We retell them because they resonate with us,
Right.
make us think, or simply entertain us.
Yeah.
And when a brand or message is woven into a compelling narrative,
Mm.
it becomes part of that shareable experience.
Right.
Think about Subway's Jared Fogle campaign.
Yeah.
His personal weight loss story was compelling,
Right.
and it subtly highlighted the brand's healthy options.
People shared it because it was inspiring.
Yeah,
And Subway benefited because they were an integral part of that narrative.
exactly.
It wasn't just an ad, it was a story.
It was a story.
And speaking of stories, those Panda cheese commercials are hilarious.
Great.
They create these over-the-top scenarios
Uh-huh.
that always manage to tie back to the brand.
Those commercials are a great example of how humor and storytelling can work together
Yeah,
to create memorable brand experiences.
right.
But remember, it's not just about virality for virality's sake.
Right.
It's about creating valuable virality.
Okay.
The brand or message needs to be integral to the story, right? So people can't tell it without mentioning the product or idea.
That's a great point. It's like the golden rule of storytelling and marketing.
Exactly.
If you can swap out your brand for a competitor
Right.
and the story still works, you're doing it wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The story should be so intertwined with the brand
Uh-huh.
that it becomes inseparable.
Right.
It's about creating a narrative that is both entertaining
Mm-hmm.
and strategically aligned with your message.
Right. It's amazing how much thought goes into crafting
It is.
a truly contagious message. It's like
Yeah.
a recipe with all these different ingredients
Yeah.
that need to come together in just the right way.
Yeah, it is. And just like with a recipe, sometimes the most unexpected combinations can create the most delicious results.
Right.
Speaking of unexpected combinations, did you know that the vast majority of manicurists in California are Vietnamese?
Wait, really?
Yeah,
I had no idea.
yeah.
How did that happen?
It's actually a fascinating story that perfectly illustrates how Step PS can drive a social epidemic,
Okay.
even within an entire industry.
Wow.
It all started back in the 1970s with a small group of Vietnamese refugees.
Okay.
One woman, Thuan Le, began doing manicures for actress Tippi Hedren.
Wow. Talk about social currency,
Yeah.
getting your nails done by someone who also works with a Hollywood star.
Exactly.
But that got people talking.
Exactly. And it triggered a chain reaction.
Okay.
Le's friends saw her success and began opening their own salons.
Okay.
Word spread quickly through the Vietnamese community,
Uh-huh.
creating a powerful sense of social proof.
Right.
Here was a viable career path,
Right.
a way to achieve the American dream.
So it wasn't just about the glamour of Hollywood. It was about practical value,
Right.
a job opportunity, a chance to build a new life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And those early success stories became powerful stories in themselves,
Yeah.
inspiring others to follow in their footsteps.
Right.
It's a perfect example of how multiple Step Yes can work together to create a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
The Vietnamese nail salon industry is a testament to the power of word-of-mouth community and a little bit of Hollywood magic.
It's incredible how these seemingly simple principles can have such a profound impact, not just on the individual products or ideas, but on entire industries and communities.
Yeah.
So after diving deep into Contagious, what's the biggest takeaway for our listeners?
I think the biggest takeaway is that we all have more influence than we realize.
Okay.
Every day we're shaping each other's opinions, decisions, and behaviors.
Uh-huh.
through the things we share and the stories we tell.
Right.
By understanding these principles,
Yeah.
we become more conscious of the messages we're sending and how they might ripple outward.
It's like we're all part of this giant interconnected web of influence, whether we're aware of it or not.
We are.
So the next time you see something go viral,
Yeah.
don't just scroll past it. Think about the step yes at play.
Right.
And if you have an idea or a message you want to share, ask yourself, how can I inject some social currency?
Right.
What triggers can I leverage?
Yeah.
How can I evoke emotion? Make it public, highlight the practical value,
Right.
and most importantly, how can I wrap it all up in a compelling story?
Remember, contagiousness isn't just about luck.
Okay.
It's a science.
Right.
By understanding the principles, we can all become better storytellers,
Yes.
communicators, and influencers.
And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to start the next viral trend.
That's right.
Until next time, keep diving deep. And remember,
Yeah.
the power to make things catch on is in your hands.
It is.